Hello everybody. In this tutorial we'll see the basic keywords, how to insert, update and delete columns from the table. In the previous session what we have discussed was how to create a schema and then how to create a table. Table that we have created is this. Execute and we see this is the table. I've already inserted in, but in this video we'll see how to insert, update and delete. For insert, there are two different ways of inserting data into the table. One is directly inserting the values into the columns, and the other way is specify the columns names and then specify the values. For instance, say insert into table name is first schema dot create table, values would be id would be 2 and the first name would be Shri and the last name would be Gatta. Okay, this is one way. Let's say you need to select it what so you can have multiple queries in one editor. So whatever the query that you want to execute, select and say execute the query. Okay, here it says insert into first schema one row affected. You see there is an error writing here, but it's a syntax error unexpected insert because you already have this in the file, but you don't need to worry about that. Okay, now we'll see another way of inserting through the columns. That would be insert into first schema dot create table. Let's see what are we if we don't remember the value. Select it and say execute. You see the column names. We need the column names right here. So say ID, F name, L last name. Okay. And then say values would be 3. Okay. Anushri. And you say that. And then select and execute. You see inserted successfully. Now see whether it has been inserted. Okay, so these are the two ways of inserting values into the table. Inserting directly the values or inserting specifying the column names right in here so that it would go corresponding. So ID would be 3, first name would be Anushri and last name would be Gattu. Okay, so this is how you insert values. Now if you want to update some values, even then we can update the whole table or we can update a specific column inside a table. Let's see that. That would be use the update keyword and the table name is first schema dot create table. Create table and then you can say here set what is the column that you want to set. Let me see if I want to set the column last name. That's a column that I would like to set. And what is it that I want to set it to? Say Guntur. Okay. Last name is Guntur. Now where I want to set it, if I do this, it will be updated in all the columns right in here. Let me select, execute. When you execute, the error that I'm receiving right in here is 1175. That is, you are using safe mode and you try to update. Usually, when the default option would be the safe mode that we have in our workbench. Now, what we do is for that. Okay, now go to Edit, Preferences. Once you say Preferences, go to the SQL Queries tab. You see that this option is checked. You see that safe updates forbid updates and delete with no key in where clause or no limit clause requires a reconnection. So if this will be checked by default in MySQL Workbench, so you cannot update or delete. Now uncheck this, say OK, and then you need to restart the workbench. Okay, now we'll restart the workbench. Now select this query and say execute. Once you say execute, you see that update query has been performed. So only it will be performed after you uncheck that checkbox in the preferences. Now you see 3 rows affected. Now when you view the table, you'll see all the last names are replaced from Gattos to Guntur. This is how you update the entire column. But if you want to update only in specific, you can just copy and paste this to save time. Okay, set last name to Gatto from Guntur. Now you have to say where in specific. If you want to say where the first name, that is the column, is Anu. So what I'm saying is, wherever the first name is Anu in the table, I need the last name to be replaced with Gatto. So this will be replaced by Gatto. Now, and you can also say first name and the ID. You can also have the combination first name and two table columns and or. Those are the different options that you have. Select. See, you did one change to 0 warnings. So select to view. You see Anu Gattu. So these are the two ways to update. And the third one that we will be discussing now is delete. Even for the delete, whatever you delete or update, the first thing that we do is go to the preferences, go to the queries, and then uncheck the box. Then only you can update it or verify it if you have already done it. The default setting is checked. Delete. So you can delete a table. You can delete some values in the table, or you can delete the whole table. So we'll see whatever the column that you want to delete. The first option is use the keyword delete from. This is the table name. Okay. This is the table name, and I would say be very careful. Do not execute the statement before if you are not sure, because this cannot be undone. So if you select it and execute, the whole table would be deleted. So be careful and say where the F name, the column name, F name is the column name, is Shri. So I would say delete this. Select, execute. It said deleted and say execute, and you see only two Anu and Anushri. So this is how you delete a table. So if you want to delete the entire table instead of some particular data, you say delete from this. So be very careful, it cannot be undone. So these are the basic operations that we have discussed today: insert, update and delete. I hope this tutorial is helpful. Thank you.